Spurs looking at a literal must-win. Knicks staying focused in the moment. Take a listen to Karl-Anthony Towns.
I don't think of anything like that, the 1-1-2-0. I just think it's 0-0. And the next game is the most important game of the year. So just continue to stay in the present, not worry about what the future may look like, not worry about what we've done in the past. Just cancel all that out and just worry about the present. Tomorrow we step on that court, should be the same determination, desperation, energy level, and physicality needed for a Game 1 win.
It's good life advice, minus like the physicality part. Everyday life. Brew, it's never been done in the finals, but 34 teams have gone down 0-2 at home. 5 have won the series. Do you think the Spurs could overcome an 0-2 deficit if things go sideways for your squad tonight?
Well, you said could. Sure. They could. Would I be extremely confident that they would? No. Look, if they lose tonight, and this is probably one reason it hasn't ever happened, it would just be like, okay, the Knicks are a bad matchup for them. They're better than them, however you want to word it. They would have beaten them 4 out of 5 times this year. Correct. This time, tonight, is absolute desperation mode for the Spurs. Again, a guy 7'5" can do all these things we haven't seen a player that tall do. Yeah, he can override some conventional wisdom. That's why I thought they could get this far as a young team. But it would be I wouldn't change my pick at this point.
But you wouldn't love it.
But yeah, 0-2, going back, the Garden is going to be maniacal, and so, especially if they're up 2-0. So yeah, it would be very tough.
Go ahead.
It's over.
It'll be over.
It's over. The Knicks playing with a confidence that I haven't seen in a while, and it's championship confidence. When you look at them, they go down 13, 15 points. You look at the bench, everybody's still high-fiving, still rocking and rolling. They never believe they're out of the game, So if they win tonight, that confidence coming back into New York is going to be through the roof. To your point, the Garden will be rocking. They have, in the past have had slip-ups at home or whatever, but I kind of don't see it this time. I just feel like it's blood in the water, so much energy and electricity around, they're going to want to try to finish the deal.
To Brew's point, if the Knicks win tonight, they will have won 4 out of 5, and for the Spurs to win the series, they would then have to flip that. Right. They would then have to win 4 out of 5. For a team that hasn't lost since, as you said, the first day of the draft, they would have to beat them 4 times in basically 10 days. And I dug into a little more, just falling down 0-2, the different circumstances of it, and we can throw that graphic up, Dust. All right, overall, teams that fall down 0-2 under any circumstances, 29-3-37. Fall down 0-2 at home, you're 5-29. Fall down 0-2 again anywhere in the finals, you're 5-32. At home in the finals, we showed it. It's only happened twice. And it is something else that it's only happened twice. Just how rare it is that the team with the better record in the NBA Finals gets beat in the first 2. And the 2 instances were, it was the 93 Bulls against the Suns, Seattle? Right?
Yes.
No, there's
Phoenix.
93. Phoenix won those first 2. Yeah. Okay, so that is arguably the peak of Michael Jordan. Some would say a different year, but arguably that, going for a three-peat. And the other one was the 95 Magic, that Game 1, they had it. They missed the free throws. They lost in overtime, and it broke them, and they were a very young team, all of those things. It's one of the reasons why it would be stunning is disrespectful to the Knicks, but it would be seismic for the Knicks to do this. For the Knicks to come back to MSG on Monday, having won both of them, would be one of the more surprising couple games we've seen in a finals in a very long time.
It's the best stretch of basketball ever. I just feel like we still haven't wrapped our minds around. Like we kind of expect, Vegas expects them to lose. We all expect them to lose. But they might not lose.
No,
they haven't lost in 40 days.
Here's the point Al alluded to that I'm curious where you're at on. I do think there is something to the fact that if the Knicks fall down 15 they will not feel like they're dead.
Oh, yeah.
What if the Spurs fall down 15?
Oh, they're going to start to freak out.
I think that now if the Knicks fall down 15, they could just be dead. You know what I mean? The Spurs run away. The Spurs did that in Game 6 to Oklahoma City. But do you think the Spurs, if they get down, even if it's early, but they get down, 15 is the number I'll give, that they will be confident? We'll be able, we can stymie this? I don't think so.
Brew will be wrong in his finals prediction, and at the same time,
He's been
100% right.
About the youth?
About the youth and experience.
Yeah.
And
right.
either way, you are going to be right. You either,
That's
the
good to
Spurs
know.
either pull it off or like it's one of his mantras for as long as we've been doing the show. You need to be calloused. You need to take some lumps. You need to get some championship scars before you can win. So you nailed it, buddy. Either way.
I think in all seriousness, like, obviously I picked the Spurs. I love for them to win. And for Wemby, I'm sure he wants to win. And, it'd be great for his legacy if he wins. But I said earlier, I don't know, would that spark him to make the improvements he needs to make? Because as great as he is, and whether he's the first or second best player in the world, he's still got a ton of improvement. Well, I've said out he's about maybe 70, 75% of who he can be or will eventually be. That other 25 to 30% is like strength and getting down low sometimes in the post. So if he loses, I think it's going to be good for him. Like Jordan said, losing to Detroit, I had to get in the weight room.
Well, it's such an interesting the only comp, sorry for again, I'll bring up LeBron. There's a lot of LeBron Wemby comes from talking about historical stuff. If they had won the series against the Mavs, would the rest of his career have been as good as it was? I would argue no. If they had
I'd say yes.
I think it would have. Yeah, I think it would have. I know he learned a lot. He changed a lot.
I think he matured. I think he changed his game. He would have had one championship he doesn't have, but does he? If he hadn't gone through that, would he have been able to go do what he did in 16? I don't know. You know what I mean?
He obviously. Yeah. I don't know what happened to him in 11. He fell apart. So he had to grow from that. But I'm with Al. I think he was so good. He was going to be. But
he was chasing Michael Jordan records and stuff.
Yeah.
X-Factor time. I'm casting my vote early on this one. My X-Factor is Landry Shamet, who was shooting.
Wow.
And get ready for this, Al. In his last 7 games, 77% from 3. Jeez. He is 20 for 26. He had 13 off the bench in game 1, so Shamet is my X-Factor because he doesn't miss shots anymore. Who is your X-Factor? Al, we'll start with you.
So I got the Spurs guards. It's hard for me to pick one, but I'll just say, so I think Castle has to be more assertive and more decisive. First game, I don't know what was going on. Just, I feel like he was like questioning themselves. When should he drive? When should he shoot? When should he pull up? Vassell, he needs to play like Josh Hart, right? He needs to have moments like that. He needs to get an extra offensive rebound, get a block, hit an open shot. He needs to have his Josh Hart moment in order for them to win. The person that I'm really on is De'Aaron Fox. They brought him there as a max player to be special, right? He needs to be a leader, obviously, but offensively, he needs to give them more. Right now, what he's giving them is nothing. Since the injury, I think he's averaging like 10 points. He's shooting like 20 from
His percentages since the injury are brutal.
It's awful. Yeah. But in order for them to compete and possibly win these finals, he has to play better.
Yeah, I'm with you. My guy is Fox. De'Aaron Fox. They need him out there for the ball handling. We saw when Castle, with the turnovers when Fox wasn't there. He averaged, 17 points and 5 assists against Minnesota. Yep. So he was huge for them in that series. So, and he's another guy that has been a great clutch player, won Clutch Player of the Year. He just was obviously horrible in game 1. And you mentioned it yesterday. He had that 9-footer. That who knows if he hits that, what happens. So, De'Aaron Fox is my guy. I agree. Obviously, they need Castle and those guys to play well. But De'Aaron Fox is the guy I'm looking at.
After Brunson at the 3 for the Knicks to retake the lead, Fox had the 9-footer down 2, and then Fox is the one who fouled Bridges when they were in the bonus and all of us that. So it was a really tough sequence. My answer, however, is someone you guys have not mentioned. The Spurs beat the Knicks in their first matchup this year, and the Spurs won the first half of this game. In that first game and that first half, those 6 quarters, Julian Champagnie hit 16 threes. The only extended stretches of basketball this year, the Spurs have been better than the Knicks. Champagnie has been a flamethrower. So I think that the Knicks, defense, he clearly is going to get open shots. He got open shots, by the way, in the second half of the game as well, and just stopped making them.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the Spurs to win, Champagnie's got to be awesome. Also, Champagnie, you can't be. No one's allowed to trash talk Jose Alvarado.
They went to rival.
Oh, they're
high
a long
schools.
time. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
You know what?
yeah.
I
That's the
rescinded.
king.
I rescinded.
Yeah, where's the other one?
Al, do you have a Knicks X factor? Don't say Josh Hart. He's on permanent X factor status.
Well, I just want to say one more thing about the Spurs. I would consider starting Harper, because I think it's his time. I think he should be running the show.
Over who?
Over Fox.
Really?
Have a conversation with Fox and say, listen, we're going to let you come off the bench, and you're going to have a 3-4 minute window to play like the old De'Aaron Fox when you played in Sacramento.
We don't lose those minutes, too.
Just see what happens.
Wemby off.
That's an adjustment that I would make if I
Is
was
that like an
coach.
ego issue?
That's the thing. Do you lose Fox? Like, can he
That's why I
handle
say it's the key. You got to have a conversation with him first. You have to talk to him about it. He has to get some buy-in. I would just consider that and just see if maybe he can come in and kind of get himself going. As far as with the Knicks, my X factor, I don't really have one, man. They rolling.
I guess they don't need that.
They
It's
don't-
always Josh
They're
Hart.
fine.
Josh Hart is always.
I don't
the X
consider him an X
Shamet
factor.
keeps
I mean, I
keep
do. They need
Anunoby.
four made threes off the bench. That's what I would say.
Oh, let's
4 made threes off the
You
bench.
copied my paper.
Well, Shamet's not going to make 4. But
He had 3.
Exactly, and then 1 from Deuce.
He could make three. Off the
I
glass.
have more confidence in Brunson or Wemby tonight. That's next. Brew won Take of the Day earlier this week.
Oh, that's the segment he's bringing back. Take of the day.
Quote, there were 2 superstars on the court in game 1, but one played like it and one didn't. Take of the day. Here's the tale
That
of
only
the...
lasted about 2 days.
And I wasn't here for it. It was my segment. I
segment.
didn't get to do it.
It was game 1. Box score, neither
Box
guy
score
shot
wise, it
well.
looks like they were
Wemby,
similar.
Right, and then you throw in Wemby's 12
We don't talk about
rebounds,
Brunson's
you would
7
think.
missed threes
But yeah,
at all.
Brunson's obviously way.
All right, so who do you have more confidence in tonight, Wemby or Brunson?
Look, Brunson, I never really think he's going to have a bad game. You know, and Wemby doesn't really have bad games either because of his defense, but Brunson is far more consistent. You just look at his playoff, Wemby has been up and down, but I'm going to go with Wemby because like I said, their backs are against the wall. Like it's do or die tonight. And so he's answered the call when their backs have been against the wall or when he's coming off a bad game.
He does.
And look, I don't know if he's just saying it or if he's deluded, but he is confident.
He is
Al.
confident.
Like, he is not concerned at all about these Knicks. So I'm going to say Wemby's going to go out and have a big, huge game tonight and lead them to victory.
Yeah, I mean, I expect them to be confident because they do bounce back every time. When they lose a game, they do bounce back, and usually he bounces back as well. He has a good game. But for me, it's Brunson. The fact he has the ball in his hands at all times. He's shown he has a track record of hitting big shots in the biggest moments, always delivering. So for me, I believe that, he will have a better game. And right now, he is the best player in this series.
I think Al's thinking sweep.
The-
I know you said Knicks in 6, but your commentary
don't wanna
says
jinx
sweep.
I agree with Al. Here's
So
the other reason.
but you think the Spurs are going to
Yeah,
win?
because I think that I have way more confidence tonight on the road for the Knicks. I have way more confidence in the Spurs supporting cast, how they'll play tonight than the Knicks. Like, I think that this is a game where the Spurs could go 15 of 34 from 3 and see the Knicks go 8 of 30. But I think Brunson, just pencil him in for right about 30.
Yep.
I think that Wemby could have that opening punch, and then his impact on the offensive end be muted to a degree. I think Wemby's confidence, and maybe we talk about this somewhat in overtime, I think Wemby's confidence level is one of the most interesting factors of the beginning of this basketball game. Because I don't think it's false confidence. I don't think it's bravado. I think he truly believes we are better than them. I'll make a couple threes and be fine. If the Knicks take what the inevitable opening punch from the Spurs and, are able to, call it early second quarter, retake the lead, assuming the Spurs.
Cornet minutes fall apart.
Whatever. I think that I wonder if there could be a moment in this game where there's a realization for Wemby of, oh man, I might have been wrong about how, how comfortable I should be. Again, it's not really what I anticipate happening because I think this is probably the traditional Spurs bounce back game. But if that happens, I think his confidence could work against him because there's nothing that could happen in this game that'll surprise the Knicks. I don't think the Knicks expect to sweep. I don't think the Knicks think this is an easy matchup. I think the Knicks, get punched in the face, be like, all right, we knew that was coming. I wonder if something could happen that surprises Wemby as far as the Knicks' resilience.
Brew, when you talked about Wemby's shot selection after game one, we crunched the numbers. Kirk Goldsberry did some data. Shout out to Kirk Goldsberry. Josh also crunched some numbers. Wemby this postseason average shot distance about 16 feet in game one, all other games at 12. Game one was the furthest shot distance he had for the entire playoffs. Yeah. One part of the confidence factor, and again, if Pop said it, he would be a genius. When I say it, I'm just a rudimentary guy. Get closer to the basket, take fewer threes. It feels like he's like, I can do that. Stop turning the ball over. It's like, oh, yeah, well, I can win the game.
Well, like, I like him, and I've said, because he was driving a lot, and that's where some of his turnovers were, but he was driving from the three-point line or further. I want him to get it at the elbow and drive, because then it might be one dribble, and then you're up. And so the Knicks can't come in there and swipe at the ball. You don't necessarily need a spin move maybe. So, yeah, he's got to get closer to the rim. I mean, there's no question about it.
Okay, what's your confidence level, Brew, on a scale of 1 to 100? 100 being the most,
in the
tonight's
Spurs
game.
winning tonight.
94.
Wow.
You know I stay 10.
You're not 10.
Great news. Everyone's invited for the winner of the Belmont. 158th Belmont Stakes Saturday in Saratoga. Brew, who do you have in the Belmont?
You said you think you know who I'm going with. I'm going with Chief Wallaby.
3-1.
Is that who you thought?
No, I thought you were going with Commandment.
I went with Commandment last time. He let me down.
Lost faith in Commandment.
I don't claim to be a sharp horse better, but I know who is. Ed DeRosa's fair horse betting odds, which I always check before these races.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, if I'm going to bet it, I got to look to these guys.
Sure.
I don't like the name of the horse, but he says it's good value. Emerging market.
Emerging market.
Again, my history in the past of betting horses on purely what their coolest name is has not served me well at all. So it's
no one's going. Vitruvian Man is partially owned, if not fully owned, by Lil Wayne and Lil Yachty.
Here's the thing. I really wanted to go with that because Wheezy is friend of the show. Yeah. He's filled in for you. Ed DeRosa says the fair odds of him 125 to 1.
Oh man, I'm off.
I didn't like that at all.
I might go power shift officially. And shout out to the jockeys who are.
I'll be rooting for you, Wayne.
That's hot.
Caught Knicks fever. Loser ribs. Aaron Judge has a stress fracture in his rib. He will be re-examined in 4 to 6 weeks. And here's the quote I didn't like reading. Is expected to return at some point this season.
That's a better quote than not expected to return at some point.
Or even before the end of the season.
I just didn't like it. It just put the season in jeopardy. We had A-Rod on earlier, said if he misses time, they're really susceptible. They're missing a big right-handed bat. And I was thinking, right-handed bat? Oh, Mike Trout.
I mean, they could, listen, the Angels would love to get off that contract. You heard this and you thought Mike Trout. I heard this and I heard something else. Sound of Bobby Witt Jr.'s MVP chances creeping.
Oh, that's actually interesting. Winner, U.S. men's national team takes on Germany on Saturday. A tough opponent. Is this a must-win in your mind?
No, it is a must play well for who I assume will be the starting goalkeeper and play the whole game, Matt Freese, who I think is going to be our actual goalkeeper to start the tournament, or hopefully for the whole tournament. He didn't play in the game against Senegal. He should play in this game. That's the only thing I'm going to be looking
Josh, is this a must-win for us?
No.
Not really.
It's a must
win,
get
but
into.
It's a nice
must win.
It's not. It's must.
I mean, we had a great win over Senegal.
Yep.
To get this, I get it. It's a friendly, but it'd be a lot of momentum.
I'll tell you what.
All right.
France is not feeling great
Hold
after
on.
losing to the Ivory Coast in a friendly.
Let me ask you a question quickly. What would be better? A 1-0 win against, that we score late, or a 3-2 loss where Pulisic scores both?
No, a 1-0 win. I'm about
Pulisic
winning.
just being on fire? What?
Winner College Football 27.
No.
Joel Klatt will be the voice of college football. So congratulations to Joel.
Congrats, Joel.
I didn't know this was happening.
Yeah,
That is
awesome.
exciting.
Friend
love
of the
it.
show.
He's going to get to talk to me about my Syracuse dynasty?
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.